Hello, welcome to a very windy day here on my back porch. So a while back, I did a video about pairing food with spirits, particularly pairing steak, and Baijiu won. Ming River won that little comparison. It wasn't really even that close, if I'm honest. And in retrospect, I kind of figured out two things. The first thing I realized was, to some extent, it wasn't really that much of a surprise that the Baijiu won, because Baijiu is really built to be a food spirit. It really kind of grew up around the various traditions of Chinese cuisine. Even today, like, it isn't something you sort of drink out of a Glencairn glass in your man cave. It's something you have with friends, with food, running around the table, toasting everyone with your Baijiu. So yeah, in retrospect, not a huge surprise that Ming River won. The second thing I realized was that what spirit pairs well with a strip steak ultimately isn't really that interesting a question. It's not that useful to answer it. And what I mean is, if you want something to pair with a strip steak, with a steak, literally buy a red wine. Like, pick a red wine that's not crap. It'll probably work fine. Even beyond that in the world of wine, like, there's a couple of white wines, like fuller body white wines, that work just fine. Sparkling wine works really well with steak. Dessert wines work extremely well with steak, and I mean that's another video. This is even before you get into like ciders and beer and that kind of stuff. So yes, it is true that Baijiu pairs perfectly well with steak, but no one in their right mind is gonna have a big old porterhouse or something in front of them, and the first thing they go to is Baijiu. You just grab a red wine. So, but that poses another kind of question, and it's a question that wouldn't have occurred to me until I realized that question wasn't that useful. Which is, well, what about the foods where wine kind of falls down? Where there just aren't a lot of other good pairing options out there. What about finding a Baijiu or a spirit, more generally, that works for, the stuff that where wine isn't going to be a good option? So that's kind of what this video is about, because I want to see if there are spirit pairings, particularly Baijiu pairings, for scrambled egg. Scrambled egg, the foundation of the kind of American breakfast or brunch. It is, I know some people will debate me on this. They're wrong. It is really, really hard to find good wine pairings for scrambled egg, because most of the things that feature in wines kind of clash with scrambled egg. I mean, you can't really have a red wine, because red wine tannins, or at least not a really tannic red wine, because tannins clash with egginess. It makes it taste kind of rusty and metallic and not very yummy. So you got to stay away from more serious red wines. Lighter, maybe we can talk. White wines also have problems. There can't be oak, because oak for some reason just doesn't really work well with eggs. Acidity. I know, again, people are going to debate with me on this. You cannot have high acid wines with eggs. It's the same reason why, in my humble opinion, orange juice, even though it's another staple breakfast food, does not work very well with eggs. If washing down your eggs with orange juice, they just turn to styrofoam in your mouth. That's not very good. So no high acid wines, no oak, and no tannins. What else we got? So basically what you end up settling on is these kinds of, flabby, almost watery wines that just kind of surrender to the eggs. And if you wonder why, for example, so many rosés, which are kind of a staple brunch food here in the U.S., why so many rosés are basically flat and boring. I think it's because of eggs. It's because of eggs. So that's the project for today, is to see, can we find a spirit pairing that works with scrambled eggs, this kind of extremely troublesome. But footnote: someone's going to argue with me that there are foods that involve eggs that work well with wine. But in that case, you're just trying to work around the eggs. Like if you're dealing with an omelet, you're dealing with what's in the omelet. If you're dealing with a scramble, you're dealing with everything else in the scramble. You're just trying to not think about the eggs too much. End footnote. So yeah, I'm gonna eat some eggs, and I'm gonna try pairing them with all these spirits. I've got 4 different Baijius. I've got a light aroma. This is the Yushan that I really, really loved. I'm gonna give a second chance to this Jifeng Zhou 20. I want to see if it can redeem itself. This is Phoenix Aroma. This is light aroma, of course. I have got Luzo Lao Zhao Banyan, an absolute favorite of mine, and I've got the Astrology edition of Mao Tai Chun, sauce aroma style. So, and in addition, as kind of controls, I'm going to throw in a clay distilled mezcal. This is from Alipus. I just had this kind of out, and I wanted to try it. And we're gonna throw in Worthy Park Overproof, which of course is a blend of molasses and cane juice rums. So I'm gonna eat some eggs. I'm gonna see how well the pairings work. And how are we doing on time? Okay. Egg. Super yummy. Could have put some more salt in there, actually. All right, we are going to start out with the mezcal, just to see. I'm going to have another bite of egg. I ate that too quickly. Egg. Mezcal. It isn't worse than drinking them on their own. I mean, the mezcal's doing nothing good here, but it's not like creating grossness in the way that, say, a big red, woody red wine would. It's just kind of like you're getting some green herbaceous minerally notes in the corners of the egg, and the egg still kind of tastes like egg. So, not a total failure. You can pair these two. It's just not. There's no synergy here. There's no chemistry. Yeah, it's not imparting bitterness. It kind of worked. Alright, I'm going to dump this. I'm not going to break out multiple glasses. I'm just going to use the same glass and rinse. And let's move on to the Worthy Park. I'm very curious. This is the strongest thing here. So I'm very curious to see how this works. Oh, okay. Pour a bit of Worthy Park in there. Ah, my screen's gone. My screen's gone. Come on, wake up. There we go. Oh. Love, love, love my Jamaican rum. All right. Bite of egg. Ooh. To my shock, that actually works pretty well. Let me try that one more time. Yeah, I mean the egg is actually playing up the fruit on this. It's really kind of pushing all the pineapple-y, orangey fun of the Worthy Park right to the fore. That kind of like floral mineral note. This is awesome. Totally successful pairing. Absolutely works. Absolutely delicious. I did not expect to have a hit so early in this lineup, but that was a hit. That was a big hit. So the egg is really adding or accentuating the fruit of the Worthy Park, more so than the Worthy Park giving extra spiciness or character to the egg. But I'm not complaining. That is a delicious pairing. And let us move on to the first of our Baijius. This is the Yushan 8-year-old from Taiwan, light aroma style. A little more. I'm going to be pouring most of this, but... Alright. Yushan 8. Grungy, root vegetal, light aroma Baijiu. It takes some getting used to, but once you start to like it, it really is fun stuff. Okay, here we go. Egg. Come on, get off there. Again, I wish I'd added just a hair bit more salt. Oh well. Oh. Oh, this is beautiful. Wow. And that is the difference between a food pairing that works and is delicious and one where there's really full-blown synergy. Like it's, that's terrific. It really, again, it's kind of the same effect of the Worthy Park, except even more so. The egg is really playing up the desserty side of the root vegetables there, and the fruit. It's really good. Okay, more. Let's try this again. Oh, there's interplay. It adds this kind of like black licorice note to the eggs. That's really fun. But then you got like this candied yam thing happening. It's got really good development in the mouth. This is as much as I was enjoying the Worthy Park, which totally works, and there's a little synergy. This is just a far better pairing. All right, let's rinse and we'll move on. This is great. I was thinking this would fall on its face. I was worried about it, but no. This is genius. I'm a genius. All right, Jifeng Zhou, 20. Again, I don't really recommend this bottle because I don't think it's that much better than the basic Jifeng Zhou. But I want to see again. I want to see if it redeems itself. Here we go. Let's get some egg. Egg is yummy. Needs more salt. Works, but not anywhere near as good as the Yushan. Again, really brings out the aniseed, the fennel elements of the Baijiu, and they're kind of playing with the egg a little bit. But it's in some ways it feels a little flat. It feels flatter. Let's put it that way. Let's try this one more time. One more egg. More egg. Yeah, aniseedy, peppery. It works, but it's nowhere near this level. Like it's we're about where the Worthy Park was with the Jifeng Zhou 20. These both work. There's both chemistry. They're delicious. But they're not going to win this. All right, let's move on to the Luzo Lao Zhou. am I doing? All right. There's my little rinse. Let's get the Luza Lao Zhao poured. Okay, so if the... okay, I'm a little worried now, because if the Jifeng Zhou was like a little bit too aggressive and spicy with the egg, like this is really going to turn it up a couple notches. So I'm a little scared now. Oh, I have to taste it. Good Lord. This is such a good spirit. Really, it's just delicious. Alright, egg. And then Luza Lao Zhao. Nom nom. Better, actually. In some ways, this is like a better version of what the Worthy Park is doing. In that the egg is really bringing out a ton of fruit from the spirit. So yeah, we're still not up to the kind of synergy we're getting with the Yushan 8, but yeah, this pairing is delicious and probably the second of the lineup. Confirms that, yeah. Really brings out the fruit. Aniseed, orange peel. But it works. I mean, it's quite beautiful. It's just not as good as with this. All right, let's pour that. Do a little rinse. We'll try the sauce aroma. And this should be interesting because, of course, sauce aroma Baijiu is defined by its kind of umami character, its savory character, which should work really, really well with eggs. But I don't know. I've never tried this before, so we'll find out together. It's, yeah, I mean, there's no getting around it. Sauce aroma is expensive for what you're getting, but it's also just a very, very special spirit. I'm going to have a sip. Hold on. Get the Luza Lao Zhao off my palate. Okay, here we go. Egg. I'm not sure. One more time. And you kind of understand what's happening there. Again, works. The kind of soy saucy, chocolatey character, you know, totally works with the egg. Plays with it. I don't think it's actually better than the Worthy Park or the Jifeng. I think there's, like, these three are kind of like in the same grouping, quality-wise. And that their work, there's a little chemistry. It's like a good first date. You're kind of giggling a little bit at each other's jokes, but you know you kind of know it's not going to last forever. That's kind of where these three are. I was expecting this to work better, actually. To be honest, I'm a little bummed about that. And yeah, that is the lineup. So, what do we got? What are the conclusions? So, the least successful thing here, although it's not terrible, like I guarantee if I have a bourbon in this, it would be DFL. Like it would be dead freaking last. But since there's no bourbon here, your loser is the poor Alipus, which is delicious. And you can drink this with the egg. It's just they're not talking to each other much. They're just kind of like they're going right past each other, and that's fine. And then you have these three, which are kind of like there's some chemistry. There's a little chemistry. There might even be a one-night stand there. But, it's not going anywhere. Like, it's the Worthy Park, the egg brings out a little bit of the fruit, of the pineapple-y goodness, of the florals. But not that much. It doesn't really work super duper mega well. The Jifeng Zhou, it really kind of brings some aniseedy character into the egg, and that's delicious. But it's not amazing. The Mo Tai Chun, brings a little bit of soy saucy, fennel-y character to the egg, but it's not that amazing. So yeah, like those three, that's like a rough three-way tie. Second place, Luzi Lao Zhao. I was expecting this to just be too much for the eggs, but it really isn't. That's delicious. It really plays well here. But your winner is the light aroma Baijiu. That's way too much, but oh well. Like, this just really feels like you could keep a bottle of it around for stuff that traditional wines will not touch, will not work with. Yeah, it's a little bit weird. It brings some, like, yummy stuff and, like, funky flowers, but what's the egg? Oh my god. I could build a restaurant around this pairing. I swear to God, this is great. I love this. All right, that is your video. Now you know what to pair with scrambled eggs. What do you bring to your next brunch with the girls? Bring some light aroma Baijiu. Thanks for watching, and cheers.